The world watches with bated breath. Tensions grip nations, a palpable fear hanging in the air. The specter of a global conflict, once a distant nightmare, now looms closer. From the heart of Europe to the volatile Middle East, the drums of war beat with increasing intensity. The post-World War II order, painstakingly built over decades, teeters on the brink. The current global landscape is fraught with uncertainty and danger. The old rules of international relations seem to have crumbled, replaced by a dangerous mix of nationalism, militarism, and mistrust. Regional conflicts simmer, threatening to boil over and engulf the entire world in a conflagration not seen in generations. The world is at a crossroads. The choices made by leaders in the coming weeks and months will determine the fate of millions, perhaps billions of lives. The path ahead is fraught with peril, but there is still hope that wisdom and restraint will prevail. The alternative is too horrific to contemplate. The ongoing war in Ukraine, sparked by Russia's invasion, serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of peace. What began as a regional conflict has rapidly escalated, drawing in global powers and raising the specter of a wider European war. The conflict has exposed the fault lines in the international system, highlighting the willingness of some actors to use military force to achieve their geopolitical objectives. The conflict has already had a devastating impact on Ukraine, with thousands of civilians killed and millions displaced from their homes. But the consequences of this war extend far beyond the borders of Ukraine. The conflict has shaken the foundations of European security, leading to a massive military buildup by NATO, and raising fears of a direct confrontation between Russia and the West. The situation in Ukraine remains highly volatile, with no end to the fighting in sight. The risk of miscalculation or escalation is high, and any further expansion of the conflict would have catastrophic consequences for the region and the world. The international community must continue to pursue all avenues for a peaceful resolution to the conflict, while also providing humanitarian assistance to those affected by the fighting. The Middle East, a region long synonymous with volatility, stands as another potential flashpoint. Long-standing tensions between countries, fueled by religious differences, territorial disputes, and competition for resources, threaten to ignite into a wider conflict. The presence of non-state actors such as terrorist organizations further complicates the situation, adding another layer of unpredictability to an already volatile mix. The ongoing civil war in Syria, the rise of extremist groups like ISIS, and the escalating rivalry between Saudi Arabia and Iran are just some of the factors contributing to the instability in the region. The competition for regional hegemony between Iran and Saudi Arabia in particular has fueled proxy wars and sectarian violence across the region. The Middle East is a tinderbox, and any spark could ignite a regional conflagration. The consequences of such a conflict would be devastating, not just for the region but for the entire world. The global economy would be shaken by disruptions to oil supplies, and the humanitarian cost would be immeasurable. Looming over these regional conflicts is the specter of nuclear war. The possession of nuclear weapons by multiple states, coupled with the potential for miscalculation or accidents, creates a terrifying possibility that could have unimaginable consequences for humanity. The use of even a single nuclear weapon would have catastrophic humanitarian and environmental consequences, potentially leading to a global nuclear winter. The risk of nuclear war cannot be overstated. It represents an existential threat to human civilization. The international community must work together to reduce nuclear stockpiles, prevent the proliferation of nuclear weapons, and ultimately achieve the goal of a world free from nuclear weapons. The consequences of nuclear war are too horrific to contemplate. It is imperative that all nations work together to prevent this ultimate catastrophe. The future of humanity may depend on it.